Hey everybody. I know it's kind of weird to see me. You're here for the next chapter of the Gabriel Knight LP, and you're gonna get it. But I had to make two edits in this LP. I thought about it long and hard, and I went back and forth, and I finally decided to go ahead and make these cuts, but I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm making these cuts just for time's sake. I don't need you guys to sit through like a 12-hour LP of the game. So I try to cut corners where I can without taking away from the story. In this chapter, Grace explores some of the history and background to King Ludwig II. And in doing so, she goes to two castles that he built that are turned into museums. The game requires you to go through these museums and click on everything in them and listen to every single detail. The game requires this before you can advance. So, I'm sure you could probably find an LP of somebody out there who didn't skip these scenes if it's that important to you. Play the game yourself. Or just take my word for it. Let's dive in.
Alright everybody, it's been a while, but we are back with Chapter 4. Don't worry, you're not going to have to wait that long for Chapter 5. Was that an elephant mixed in with the wolf sounds? Man, this happened to me just last week. I was running along in, I don't know, a wedding dress or something, chased by wolves in the snow. It's weird how often that happens to me. Where's the White Queen when you need her? Yeah, it's starting to hurt my ears too, honey. Oh look, there's the White Queen. It was nice of the wolves to give her time to have her little breakdown there. Hi, how you doing? Shake hands. Did you ever actually do that? I don't mean all the jokes I just made, but do you ever actually have a nightmare, and so when you wake up from the nightmare, you bolt straight up in the bed? Because it's my theory that that's one of those things that only happens in movies. Like, I've started, you know, where your head comes off the pillow maybe a little, but do you ever actually just sit completely up in the bed from a nightmare? Since she dreamed about him, let's go ahead and see if we can find a biography about King Ludwig II.
I wish I could read these biographies of Ludwig. Wait a minute. Ludwig II, fairy tale king of Bavaria. I didn't see this before.
Because it wasn't necessary in the
English.
chapter I was in. Again, to save a tiny bit of time in what's already becoming a very long playthrough, she's not going to read it for you. I'm sorry.
Ludwig remained throughout in his youth. A hunting accident?
A hunting accident?
Other than his lungs when they would fail?
All the stuff that's being mentioned here is stuff
A good example. The king has been... The man was...
we're going to explore more when we're doing tours of the castles, which is the thing I'm skipping over for you guys.
His Majesty... This author...
It's a lot...
The king, especially in many of the
It's a lot of interesting background stuff, and it's really good for the atmosphere of the game, but just making you watch through me hearing it, I don't think is going to be that exciting. But again, I've said it before, I do recommend going to get this game. It's on goodoldgames.com, GOG.com, and it's fairly cheap, and it works. As she travels into town. I want to say this. This game had a bug in it when it originally came out, where you could not beat this chapter. Because no matter what you did, it never counted you as finishing one of the castle tours. It was the first time in my life I ever encountered having to go online and get a patch for a game. Because as it was released, it was unwinnable. Because of that, I have very rarely played past this chapter. So, 5 and on, I think I've played through maybe once? So, I'm going to be as surprised as you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. I didn't mean to come in here. I was so busy talking to you guys, I meant to go to the post office. Let's see if Gabriel sent us anything.
There's no one there.
Well, how about you ring the bell, dear?
Guten Tag. Grüß Gott, Frau Nakamura. Ich habe etwas für Sie.
I heard Nakamura.
Oh, it's from Gabriel. Ja, das ist vom Schattenjäger. Ja.
It took you
No,
that long
I'm
to see
thinking-
who it was from?
Gabriel is a working partner and... Never mind. Danke. Bitte, brauchen Sie noch etwas?
Awkward. I don't even know what was awkward about that moment, but something, clearly. Let's see what Gabriel has to say.
Gracie, you decided to come over. That's great. Good tag and all that. I'm sure you and Gertie are hitting it off. Thanks for finding the werewolf book. I'm not sure what it all means, but it might be useful. But Ludwig II, you know, I think you might have something there. Ubergrau says there are 2 places you should check out. Ludwig had a castle called New Swan something, and there's a museum about him at Year in Chemistry. Something like that.
I love
I really
Gabriel.
think you should spend some time looking into it.
Can I point out what a dick these letters are, though? Because we know he specifically does not believe any of this stuff will be useful, and he's using it to keep her busy.
Don't worry. Things are going very smoothly this time around. I've tracked a suspect to a hunt club run by a man named Von Glauer. He seems okay, but I'm sure there's something going on with at least one of the others. Don't worry, though. I met a police detective named Leva, so I have backup. I'll be finished soon. Sit tight and enjoy your visit till I get there. Gabriel.
What does he think? I'm on vacation here? No address. Thank you very much, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, kind of a dick move.
Danke. Bitte.
Hey, I understood that. Alright, now let's go in here. Let's talk to the crazy couple from before.
Hello there, dear.
Hi, I'm Grace Nakamura from the castle. Am I interrupting?
Heavens, no.
Remember you had some kind of wig out in my castle last night?
For a moment.
Isn't this nice? We just finished our breakfast. Do you want something?
No, thanks.
Good for you. I can never turn down food myself. Now you just tell us all about it, Sugar Pie.
You know, it would be horrifying if instead of getting a Gabriel Knight 4, we got a spin-off with these 2 characters.
You mentioned the other night that you were a demonologist. What is that exactly?
Well, it's not as bad as it sounds, honey. What Emma and I really do is to help protect people.
Protect them from what?
Well, do you believe in the devil, Miss Nakamura?
I believe in good and evil, if that helps.
And
Oh,
voodoo.
but Satan and his demons
And
are real,
voodoo.
and they will attack the living. And most folks don't know what to do once they've been attacked. We try to help protect people.
How can you protect people from demons?
Best protection is faith in God.
How do you fight werewolves?
But sometimes faith
and
isn't
voodoo?
enough. Sometimes we have to delve into the supernatural in order to protect others. Your shot and joggers are just the same.
We are? I mean, he is?
Of course. The warriors of light are rare these days, but they do exist all around the globe.
That's interesting. I just read about a group called Manos del Sol in Brazil. So the Ritters aren't the only Schottenjägers.
Well, they're probably the only ones to use that title, but others have been chosen for the battle.
Okay, let's do a spinoff with the Brazil gang.
Do you know anything about King Ludwig II?
Sure, we saw his castles, didn't we, Mother?
We sure did. Why do you ask?
Well, I found a letter in the Schottenjäger library warning Ludwig about the Black Wolf.
Who wrote the letter?
One of Gabriel's ancestors, a Schottenjäger.
Seems like whoever was using me as a megaphone helped you find that letter. Perhaps you should follow the path.
No, I found the letter first.
Pointing at. Look into Ludwig.
I intend to.
So they came into town. They came to Germany to meet the Schottenjägers, but they took a couple of days off to go to some museums first.
The other night you said something about the Black Wolf. What did you mean? Where did you hear that name?
I wasn't the one talking.
I don't understand.
Well, that's quite all right. The point is, it would be a very good idea to answer those questions, and we must work together to do so. Of course I'll help you, Pumpkin. I'd like to know myself, wouldn't I? It isn't every day one's taken over by a disembodied spirit, and I don't much care for it, thank you.
You're not talking about a seance, are you?
Did she just have an entire conversation by herself?
Thank God.
Emma's right. I'm much better at tarot cards. I can read for you or for someone else if you prefer.
Why am I getting Quest for Glory 4 flashbacks?
Are you sure you don't know anything about the Black Wolf?
I never did, dear. I told you. Really, you mustn't confuse the vessel with the voice. All I remember was seeing a very bright flash like lightning. Next thing I knew, Em'll have me outside. Whatever it was very powerful. Very powerful.
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to do my tarot reading.
Don't you worry now. I know what I'm doing.
No, wait, I've played this game. This is how I pick my character class, right? Before I become the avatar?
Push your vital energies into the cards.
Not all of it. Keep some vital energy for yourself. It is vital.
This is your soul card.
You don't
That
shuffle or nothing?
to all of your lifetimes. It's the Empress. Oh, that's a good one.
What's it mean?
It means that your soul's journey is one of leadership. There's great strength here and intelligence.
Which is why you follow
This
Gabriel
card
around like a dog.
represents what you're like in this lifetime. It's the Chariot. Self-discipline. Control. You need to feel you have a plan, that you're testing your abilities. The Chariot's very masculine. In combination with the Empress, it tells me that you're currently exploring your male side. You will seek
That's
out
what my
great
mom
achievement,
tells me.
but it does have its price.
Doesn't sound anything like me.
Yes, dear. The third card represents the other. You've pulled the Magician. Who is he, dear?
Excuse me?
Your other, the Magician. Oh, this is a very powerful card. Major Arcana.
My other?
Everyone has an other.
It's Gabriel.
See. I bet it's the shot and jogger.
No
What's his
kidding.
name?
The Schottenjäger? Gabriel Knight?
The name of power.
Yeah,
He is powerful.
it
this way.
is.
The Magician is dexterous and cunning, mischievous and manipulative,
That's Gabriel, all right.
Mhm.
and very strong with magical and occult powers. Now, this is interesting because your card, the Chariot, is all logic and reasoning, while his, the Magician, is spiritual and intuitive. You two are quite a pair. The fourth card shows what you're trying to achieve at this moment, your immediate destiny.
Hunting a werewolf?
It's the strength or lust card.
Lust?
Not that kind of lust, dear. It's a trial card, finding the strength to continue some difficult journey. It also represents the integration of conflicting energies. That must be your chariot and his magician energies. Strength also means bonding those energies, loving without judgment, learning to love the beast.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't want to think about loving Gabriel. I just love the
What is
disgust
this
on her
trial,
face.
dear? Do you know?
Well, Gabriel and I are involved with the case right now.
It will be a hard time. You must let your love give you power. Use the positive energy of your union or you may not succeed.
I think you have the wrong idea. Gabriel and I just work together.
Yes, dear. But if I might just suggest, when you're facing negative forces, the positive energy of love is a very vital weapon. You make yourself vulnerable when you resist your own tools.
Wow, that's been helpful.
I hope so, dear.
Let's do one for Gabriel.
Maybe we should do a reading for Gabriel.
Oh, let's!
My
It's a
God.
little like spying on someone unawares, but what the heck?
I'm glad these are the good guys. Again, we don't need to shuffle.
Reach out to the cards and to think about his essence.
And his vital energy. But still
His
don't
soul
shuffle.
card is the magician. Yes, dear. It reflects your other exactly.
Well, maybe, but I'd rather hold out for David Copperfield.
Really?
And his lifetime card.
That's her fantasy?
Oh, goodness. The lovers.
You mean the sole purpose of his life is in his pants? Doesn't surprise me.
It's not what you think, dear. It's a duality card. As a lifetime card, it refers to Gabriel's own duality. Good versus evil, physical pleasure versus spiritual growth, that kind of thing. His challenge is to integrate the conflicting parts of himself. Until he does, he'll never find peace. And you will find peace when you acknowledge all of him. Find a way to love the worst as you already love the best.
You're really reaching.
Mother.
His other is the High Priestess.
Let me guess. That's me, right?
No,
Nope.
dear, it's not. The High
Malia
Priestess
Getty, probably.
represents psychic mysteries, deep wisdom. This is a very different energy from your earthy one.
Did you just
This
call
must
me
be our
earthy?
connection. To the voice, dear. Someone is trying to communicate with Gabriel. This force is represented by the High Priestess.
That's not much help. What about the Black Wolf?
But it is a help, dear. The High Priestess is a spiritual guide card if ever there was one. The message must have been a warning.
If this force is connected to Gabriel, and if he's so very psychic, then why doesn't it just go to him? Why say it to me?
Maybe Gabriel's blocked. Maybe he's purposefully blocking. There is that duality business. Let's go on and see if it becomes clear. The fourth card, remember, represents the current situation. It's
Oh, he's in bed.
death.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Nothing to worry about then.
Now, you just leave interpretation up to me, Sugar Pie. It's a transformation card, dying to one thing and being born to another. It is painful, but it isn't necessarily bad. Two of Wands. Oh, my.
What?
He's not going to have enough wands.
A 2 is not good here. Wands is Mars in Aries. That's a war card. In conjunction with the death card, there are 2 possible transformations.
2 transformations?
Yes, dear. Gabriel is waging a spiritual battle. The transformation might be good, or evil. That must be the purpose of the High Priestess. She's trying to guide him.
Help him bring balance to the
So
Force.
you think he really might be in danger?
Oh, yes, dear. Gabriel's very essence is at stake. If he takes the wrong path with his powers... Emil and I will stay in town. You must let me know if anything else happens that we can read for clues.
Maybe if you shuffled them.
Let the Force use you.
Let the Force be with you. Trademarked by the Disney Corporation.
I'd better go.
Anytime you need us, stop by.
Be careful now.
Thanks.
It's a jaunty little tune. Alright, so what? I'm a shepherd or a wizard now? You'll notice when we woke up this morning, Gerda wasn't there. I can only think of one other place Gerda would be at. And that's visiting the grave of her ancient lover. Seriously, she's what, 30? And the guy was 80 or 90?
Gerda's here. I wonder what she's up to.
Such a bitch. She's visiting the grave of her grossly old departed loved one. What's she doing here? Rare. This heart reminds me of how he died. He cut out his own heart.
Gerda was in love with Wolfgang.
Boy, do I feel stupid or what.
Good. Well, I want the car keys so I can go to New Swan something and here in chemistry. So let's make amends. This part's ridiculous. What I want to do is get something to show sympathy. Something to show that I respect what she's going through. So I walk back to the castle. I forgot I can skip some of these transitions. You guys have seen them. Up to my bedroom. Into the secret passage.
Grace Nakamura.
Yeah, I know who you are, dear. Down the stairs. So I can get some flowers. I just walked like 45 minutes to get some gosh darn flowers. And then I'm going to walk all the way back. Yeah, just one flower will do it. I better take a backup just in case. I mean, she really loved that old coot. Although the heart fixation's a little weird considering how he died. There. 3. No woman's ever turned down 3 roses before. Bitches love roses.
Grace Nakamura.
I know who you are. Now for the sinister dungeon music. Carefully she walks up the stairs, never knowing what jump scare is waiting for her. The epic jacket music. Written for the piano, for that scene where she puts on a jacket. All right. Let's go ahead and make up, shall we? I'm sure this will make up for all of the horrible, terrible things I said. How come there's 4? I specifically picked up 3. You want to go in increments of dozen. This is like I half care about you as much as if I was trying to date you. See, it's 3. I told you it was 3. I don't know why the image of the roses has 4.
There. That's better, don't you think?
Yeah, my love is dead. You gave him 3 flowers that you stole from his castle. Makes everything better.
I'm so sorry. I was an idiot.
Gabriel and I, we never...
I know. It's my fault. It's Gabriel's fault. He never tells me anything.
No, it's your fault.
I don't know why he didn't want me on this case.
Maybe he just...
Don't even try to make excuses for him.
Hey, you're in the middle of apologizing. Don't be a bitch.
He's up to his neck in it, I think. Will you help me out with something?
Of course.
I have to do some research on Ludwig. I want to go see some of his castles.
Take Gabriel's car.
The car I said you couldn't take because it's his. There you go. See, all it took was some
There's a
crummy
map of
roses.
southern Bavaria in the car. Ludwig's castles are all marked.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Aw, see, they're friends now.
I think she wants to be left alone.
Yeah, she probably want to be left alone the whole time. But now that we got the keys to Gabriel's car, let's go check out New Swan something and here in chemistry. See, I'd claim I'm using those names to make fun of the fact that Gabriel can't speak German despite living in Germany for a year. But I have a feeling I couldn't pronounce the actual names either, so... New Swan something is Neuschwanstein. Neuschwanstein? Here in Chiemsee, I think is the other one. See, there's Neuschwanstein. And here in Chiemsee. Oh man, I got work left everywhere. Alright, let's go to here in chemistry first. Or we could go to Munich and meet up with Gabriel. Just sit in his lawyer's office since we know where that is.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
She looks enthused. That's a woman who loves her job.
Ist das die Ludwig Museum?
Ja, ja. Ludwig der Zweite von Bayern.
So angry.
Ich hätte gern eine Eintrittskarte fürs Museum.
Again, Gabriel's lived there a year, can't speak a
Für
word.
eine Ganztagskarte.
Those are the loudest coins ever. The Foley guy just went nuts.
So.
Danke.
Bitte.
Bitte. Never heard thank you said in such a annoying tone. Alright. So like I said, we're going to fast forward through this part because I have to click on everything in this castle and everything in another. all you guys are missing out on is biographical information on Ludwig. Again, sets a great tone for the game. Not necessary for the main plot, for our purposes at least. Alright, so we fast forwarded a little bit. Specific stuff that you missed. Ludwig was the Grand Master of the Order of St. George. Also, there's a painting in the back that clearly depicts the moonlight sled ride that she dreamed about. And specifically, Ludwig's journal, which kept a diary of his last days. So that's what we're going to go talk to her about. You get the strong impression that his madness was caused by him fighting something. We don't know what it was, but he confided in almost nobody about it. But maybe his journal holds clues, so let's find out.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Oh, this woman loves her job.
Ludwigs Tagebuch. Im Museum?
Ja,
Wo kann ich Ludwigs Tagebuch hier anschauen?
die Tagebücher sind ganz persönlich. Die sind in den königlichen
Subtitles?
Archiven. Niemand darf die lesen. Aber nein, niemand darf die lesen.
Danke.
It was kind of brave of this game to... It was very authentic. Like, I respect the fact that some of these conversations happen in German.
I don't have anything to say to her at the moment.
Nope, that's just a painting. Alright. If I've done my job right, this place won't flash anymore. I have not done my job right. So, let me go through again and see what I've missed. Okay, it's because of the way this place is laid out. I missed over reading some of his diary pages about him buddying up to Wagner, the composer, and really they're just great pals, and he asked him to write him a very special opera. So let's talk to this snooty cow about that.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Im Museum es einen Brief von Ludwig über eine neue Wagner-Oper.
Ja, ich kenne diesen Brief.
Wo kann ich mehr von dieser Wagner-Oper sehen?
Ja, ich weiß nichts über Wagner. Das hier ist kein Wagner-Museum.
Ja, ich weiß.
In Bayreuth befindet sich ein Wagner-Museum. Versuchen Sie es halt doch, ne?
Bayreuth. Danke.
Okay. Now if I've done everything, this place will stop blinking. Haha! Success! And we've unlocked something new, the Wagner Museum. Look at that. But first, when I saw the painting of the sleigh ride, Grace specifically said, maybe Mrs. Smith can tell me what my dream meant. So since we had so much fun with her before, let's go see what that wacky woman's got to say about dream interpretation. Oh, I'm sure she's an expert. I love this guy.
Herr Huber?
Yes?
That's just a great voice.
I was wondering if you've changed your mind about telling me where Gabriel is. It's really important.
No. Sorry.
Although the whistling on his S's could use some work.
Are the Smiths in their room?
Yeah, I believe so.
Could you ask them to come down, please?
Or would that
Not
interfere
Danish.
with your morals, too? She seems so put out at having to wait 5 minutes.
Now you just tell Merle what's going on.
Why? Merle never talks.
I had a dream last night. I didn't remember it at first, but
It made me
I
wake
saw
up in my
something today at
bed
one of
with
the
a
museums.
start, but I didn't remember it.
What was the dream?
I was being chased in the woods by wolves. And I saw a sleigh. Ludwig was inside. He pulled me up, and I thought I was safe. But then he turned into a wolf.
So what do you think, Mother?
A dream of rescue is a spiritual guide dream. The high priestess in Gabriel's cards must be linked to Ludwig somehow.
Are you
What
saying
do the wolves
Ludwig's a woman?
represent?
I'm a psychic, dear, not Freud. But the warning I got was about the black wolf, wasn't it? And the wolves in the dream. It must be the same danger.
It's so frustrating. The more I find out, the more questions I have.
Why don't you try a little communicating of your own? Ludwig's the link. Appeal to him. The answers may not come right away, but at least you'll give the guide something specific to say the next time she contacts you.
Isn't there any way that you could, do a psychic reading on Ludwig or something?
To tell you the truth, I've been trying all day to make contact, but I only feel great despair. Ludwig's soul is not at peace.
I don't think it's ever addressed in this game.
I'd better go.
Anytime you need us, stop by.
Be careful now.
Thanks.
Again, the happy piano music. I don't think it's ever addressed in this game who the spirit guide is, this empress. So I'm just going to decide it's Malia Getty. That's just what I've decided, until the game proves me wrong.
Hi, did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Anything new?
Yes, you had a phone call.
Really? A man named Professor Barkley. He said you had his number.
I do. Thanks.
Man, if only we had a phone down here that I could use. But apparently the only phone in the house is upstairs and behind the locked door of the Schottenjäger library. That's got to get pretty old when Gerda hears the phone ring and she's got to fly up like 2 flights of stairs and go through a locked door to answer it. And I can't just call him. I've got to use the business card to call him. Because otherwise I might be wanting to call somebody else, even though I don't have any other phone numbers.
Hello?
Hi, Professor Barkley. It's Grace.
Oh, good. I have a name for you. It's Herr Josef Dahlmeier, and he specializes in Bavarian history, and I think he's somewhere near you are.
Herr Josef Dahlmeier. Great, got a number?
Yeah, I do. It's 4982-555-2234.
Thanks a lot. Sorry about the bother.
That's no bother. When are you coming back to school, Gracie?
When I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Well, be good.
I get the feeling there's a little something going on there. Do you think she was hot for teacher? Now I do have another phone number I can call. And the piano kicks in again. I like the soundtrack for this. It's just frequently loud and out of nowhere. This is the phone dialing music. And it's that same painting.
Hello? Sind Sie Herr Josef Dahlmeier?
Yeah, you must be Grace Nakamura, the American history student.
Yes.
I hear you're interested in Ludwig II.
Very.
Good. There's something I want to show you. Drive to Berg on Starnberger See. Meet me at the Memorial Chapel.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Was there anything you wanted me to look into before we meet?
Well, I was hoping you knew something about someone called the Black Wolf. He was a contemporary of Ludwig's. He lived in Prussia, I think, and he was well connected.
Never heard of him, but I'll check. See you there.
Thanks. Bye.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna learn about Ludwig II. See how inconveniently placed that phone is? It's like an hour and a half to get out to the car. And that's skipping cutscenes. And of course we can't just hop in the car, we gotta click the keys on the car. Because otherwise, I might just mean that I want her to check the windshield wiper solution or something. Let's see. A very long walk. What a lovely day.
This is where he died. You must be Grace. Herr Dahlmeier.
Hello.
Josef. I didn't mean to startle you. I wanted you to see it. I feel him here the most, you know, more than at the council. So, what did you want to know?
Everything. Give me a dialogue option and I'll click on it. That's my method. Wow, that's a lot of options.
Professor Barclay says your hobby is Ludwig.
Yes. He was the last real king that Bavaria had. As a Bavarian and a history buff, that's enough to hook me right there.
But there's more, right?
He was a romantic, you know. A dreamer. And he was
And he's
misunderstood.
not the only one.
Motivated.
Sounds like you can relate.
Me? Hell, I have it easy. At least I live in the 1990s. And not every eye in the country is on me. But, yes, I can relate.
You know about Ludwig's diary, right?
Of course.
How can I get my hands on it?
I'm sorry. I have been trying myself for 5 years. They keep it locked up tight in the Royal Archives and they don't let it out. They must think it contains things that will hurt his image.
They won't let anyone see it, not ever?
Only one person outside of the government ever got to see it, a biographer, Sir Richmond Chapel. He had friends among the German royals and they let him look at it.
Did you ever try to contact Chapel? Pick his brain?
No? I don't believe I never thought of that. If you do
You're
when
not
you
very good
find
at your
out anything,
job.
you must share.
It's a promise.
I've been trying for years to get a look at this thing. I never thought to talk to the one guy who did.
Tell me about Ludwig.
I don't know where to start. There's so much.
Politically, the most significant thing about Ludwig II was that he signed over independent Bavarian statehood to Prussia in 1870. Bavaria became a part of United Germany, and Ludwig became a figurehead prince under the Prussian Kaiser.
Why do you think he did that?
Bavaria had been involved in the 100 Years' War. People were tired of fighting. Prussia's push to unite the German states made some amount of sense. Still, Ludwig must have had other options. At the very least, he should have negotiated better terms.
So what was the real reason?
He was manipulated by Bismarck. At least that's what I think, anyway.
Bismarck. Damn that Bismarck.
What about Ludwig personally?
What was his favorite color?
You'll find two perspectives on Ludwig. The view the tourists get is the romantic ideal.
Where did he see himself in 5 years?
Then there is the historian's point of view. Ludwig was plagued with guilt over his sexual orientation and was driven mad with self-loathing.
But I take it you're not buying either point of view.
Well, it's all too convenient, isn't it? That he was a devout Catholic, there is no question, and I'm sure there were pressures on him to be normal. But he was no prude. He loved Byron. Yes. Philosophy, the French court. If anything, Ludwig was too much an egomaniac. He didn't give a damn what anyone thought.
Egomaniac.
And besides, he didn't try to hide
He
any
loved
of his relationships.
waffles.
If he suffered from anything in his romantic life, it was disillusionment. No one loved him back as purely as he himself loved.
Except his egos.
Well, if it wasn't sexual guilt that tormented him, what was it?
I don't know. His diary was filled with self-guilt, but I'm sure it's not about that. If I knew,
His
I'd
diary
write
that
my
you
own
haven't
book, set
read?
the record straight, so to speak.
Have you read anything about Ludwig's midnight sleigh rides?
Would that have been something? To be out at night and suddenly see him sweep by with his entourage? They say the night agitated Ludwig, and that being outdoors and the rushing feeling of the sleigh calmed him down. Sometimes even the sleigh wasn't enough. He would stop in some remote woods, order his servants to stay put, and go wandering off by himself for hours. It drove the servants crazy.
Are you guys starting to pick up on some clues here? These are clues also dropped by all the stuff in the museum that we're skipping.
Tell me about Bismarck.
Bismarck. He was the Prussian Kaiser's chancellor. Not a nice man. Bismarck had a reputation for learning people's weaknesses and manipulating them. It's a matter of record that he had spies on Ludwig's staff. He may even have had a henchman even closer to the king. And he was involved in the conspiracy to declare Ludwig insane.
How dare he? Almost done.
Did you find out anything about the Black Wolf?
I did. I'd read about him before, but I hadn't realized that was who you were talking about. His name was Godin, Paul Godin. I found a reference to his being called the Black Wolf after you telephoned.
I've never heard of him. Who was he?
Godin lived on the fringes of the Prussian court. He was handsome, charming, dangerous, or so they say. He was variously rumored to have been a foreign prince, a Prussian spy, even an assassin. Since you were interested in him, I found out some things that are probably true. It said he came from abroad in the mid-1800s, but claimed high German blood.
Do you know where he came from?
No. And he was ruthlessly ambitious. He probably found out who held the power, Bismarck, and offered his services. Bismarck was a good judge of talent, of that sort anyway.
I love how every one of these ends with her just staring at him.
What else do you know about Godin?
He must have done something remarkable. Bismarck was not a generous man. He liked to string people along with promises, but rarely came through.
The audio
He
changed.
did for Godin, though. He gave him a royal title and lands in 1863. And that was the last reference I found to him.
Well, how could he just disappear?
It's not that unusual. Back then, when you were given a title, you usually changed your name and moved to a place where no one knew your past, so you could act with impunity. Or be a pompous ass and get away with it.
I find that charming.
Is there any way to find out what Godin was called after he got his title?
Is it that critical?
It might be.
Well,
It's a lot of echo for being out of the
you could
ocean.
send away for a copy of the entitlement deed, assuming it has been destroyed during one of the wars. Godin's new name would be on it. But you would need a research permit from the government to access those records, and they can be very hard to get. A lot of red tape.
Great. What do you know about Ludwig's hunting accident?
A couple of years ago, I was introduced to this great old man, a real old world farmer. Well, his grandfather was Richard Horning, Ludwig's equestrian. Oh, he told some great Ludwig stories. Sometimes I get lucky. Anyway, he said that after the hunting accident, Ludwig got terribly ill, that he had a fever and was acting crazy.
Sound
They were
familiar?
afraid that the wolf had been carrying a disease or that the bite had gone septic.
A wolf bit him?
Yeah, it's not so unusual. There were a lot of wolves in the Alps back then. The servants were really worried, but Ludwig recovered, physically anyway. Horning's grandfather said it was the fever that broke Ludwig's mind, that he was worse than ever after that.
Anybody who hasn't figured out Ludwig's dark secret from that with everything else, well, don't worry, you're in the same boat as Grace Nakamura and Gabriel Knight.
What do you mean Ludwig got worse after the accident?
Ludwig always had been a very private person. But after the accident, he got darker, more crazy. Towards the end, he was even forcing his servants to enter his chambers bent over so they couldn't see his face. Horning's grandfather said his temper was fearsome. He would fly into a rage at the least mistake.
Must have been terrified of him.
Yes, well. Horning's grandfather felt sorry for Ludwig, and Ludwig hated his own violence. He was always giving gifts to his servants to apologize.
You mentioned that there were other reasons why Ludwig's servants feared him.
Ah, that's another of Horning's mysteries.
Well, he used to beat
It's a story
them.
about Neuschwanstein. Apparently, there was a period of time of 2 or 3 months when Wagner would come and visit him.
Wagner?
Yeah.
Yeah, you already read about it, lady.
In the Singers' Hall. Horning's grandfather said the sounds that came from there were awful. Well, the servants had superstitious minds anyway. Some of them quit over it, just walked away.
What kind of sound?
Horning's grandfather called them heartbreaking and ungodly. Maybe it was Wagner trying to sing.
Well, I guess that's all for now. Thanks for your help.
It's my pleasure. And if you ever want to talk again, just give me a call. I'll meet you down there.
I will. Thank you.
Servus.
Anytime you want to meet me by the ocean, just call and I'll be there. I think he's actually the German Aquaman.
This is where they found Ludwig's body.
Thank you.
I wonder what it felt like under there.
Morbid.
I wonder what it felt like under there.
Still morbid. Alright. Now that we talked to Sparky there, I get a feeling I'm forgetting something, so we might come back to this.
It's a memorial chapel for Ludwig. It's a memorial...
Yep, still a memorial chapel. I guess the whole thing is just that one area. I miss subtitles. Do you guys remember when games had subtitles? Well, this is before that. I do like the hint system here. It lets you know, see, I'm not done here. That's fine. Let's go to the Wagner Museum. Sorry, I see a W, I think wah 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 wah. It's a cultural thing.
Grüß Gott.
Guten Tag. Ist das die Wagner Museum?
Yeah, you're an American, aren't you? I'm afraid the house is closed this time of year. It will be open next month.
Crap.
You are interested in Wagner?
Very interested. Very recently very interested.
Yeah. Most of the house is closed for cleaning, but a few rooms are open. I shouldn't let you probably, but if it is only you, you are alone, aren't you?
Endlessly.
It's funny because she's lonely.
Come in and look off.
That's very generous. What do I owe you?
Georg Emmerding. There's only a few displays. Besides, I wouldn't be much of a shining knight if I charged you.
Thanks, Georg. My name is Grace.
Hello. Have a good time.
He totally wants her. I'd actually forgotten that there's 3 museums, so we're going to do the same thing I did in the other ones. Alright, let's see if I did everything. We learned that Wagner and Ludwig were in cahoots about something. They had some plan that was going to end his madness, and it involved architecture. It involved having a building, a theater built in a very specific way.
What's that book in the case?
Cosima Wagner's journal. It's locked up for preservation.
Huh.
Everybody's got a journal, and I don't get to touch any of them.
Wagner souvenirs. Don't think I need any of those.
But what if they'll help you break the case?
Wagner souvenirs.
Time for another talky bit.
What are you doing here if the museum is closed?
They always like to have a caretaker here. It's a good job for me.
I'm a bum.
Can, soak in the atmosphere of the maestro while I compose.
What are you composing?
This
Commercial jingles.
a new arrangement. One of Wagner's pieces.
For the Bayreuth Opera?
I am only a student at the university. I study music, composition, conducting.
Is there much of a call for conductors in Europe?
Ask my brother. He is the conductor for the Munich Opera.
Well, that's convenient. Does that mean you get free opera tickets?
Yes. I get a week's pass to the Opernfestspiele, the opera festival.
Oh, honey, don't give him
it
hope.
starts in a few months.
Hope I'm still around to see it.
Come with me if you like. If you're still around, I can go backstage and all sorts of things.
I'd love that. If I'm still in Germany, I'll call you, all right?
Yeah, good.
Honey, don't lead him on. That's just cruel.
Tell me about Wagner.
He was a character. He spent most of his life trying to convince rich patrons to subsidize his work. Unfortunately, he had expensive tastes. You see, he believed that someone of his genius deserved to live well. Can't argue with that.
But Ludwig II supported him, didn't he?
Yeah, sure, but Ludwig came along very late in Wagner's life. By then, he had already been run out of Venice and most major cities because of debt. Ludwig saved him. And the music. Best thing Ludwig ever did.
Apparently this guy's not a big Ludwig fan.
Do you know anything about that letter from Wagner to Ludwig in the display case? The one about the diagram?
Ah. No. Some sort of equipment for Ludwig's theater. But I don't know why Wagner would have cared about this. If he was worried about any theater, you would think it would have been his own theater, here, in Bayreuth.
Have you ever heard about the letter that Ludwig wrote to the Munich conductor in 1882 telling him to prepare for a new Wagner opera?
You're full of surprises for an American.
What do you know about it?
No one knows anything about it.
He likes to take those pauses before saying nothing.
It's probably a complete fairy tale, but it does make you wonder.
You have no idea what it could have referred to? Maybe something that Wagner was working on with Ludwig?
If there was, there's no trace of it. Except perhaps in the dreams of unemployed music students.
All right. I believe we got to come back and talk to him again. Phew, at least I finished one, right? Let's go to New Swan something. This is the big one. This is the one that was bugged. This is the one you could never beat. Oh, and here we go again. Alright. Now, if I've done this correctly, and the game is patched, which I didn't check before I bought it, I did not do that correctly. Or the game's not patched, which I think is unlikely. So, let me go take another dig around. Alright, maybe I did it that time. The issue is, navigation is tricky because it's never clear what exit leads to what entrance. And you do have to click on absolutely everything. Let me try again. Icon was a sink. She looks at the sink and goes, "What's up with all the swans?" It's like the third time in the game that she talks about the swans. I went online to get a walkthrough of just that area so I'd know everything I was supposed to click on because I forgot to click on the sink. Literally, the sink. That is without a doubt my least favorite part of this game. But it's over. It's no longer blinking. We can move on. Let's go talk to our buddy Jorge.
Have you ever heard about the wolf panels in the Singers' Hall at Neuschwanstein?
Did my brother send you here?
No.
Probably not. It's only the letter to the conductor, the wolf panel. Oh, my brother thinks I am crazy because of all my theories.
What theories?
This is Quatsch. If there was a lost opera, a lost Wagner opera, and if one could find it, to a conductor, this would be like finding King Tut's tomb. But people have looked for it before. If it ever existed, it is gone forever. My brother says I waste my time even thinking about it.
Yes, how dare artists have dreams?
I'm curious. Is there any other information that points to the lost opera besides Ludwig's letter and the wolf panels?
It's nothing. I'm not even supposed to have seen it. You see, my brother says that Wagner was too egotistical to have produced a lost opera. If he was working on something new, every person in Bayreuth would have heard about it. On the other hand, It was in Ludwig's character to have wanted a private opera.
But it wouldn't have been private. Ludwig's letter shows he intended it to be played in Munich.
Yes, but that it would get so far without Wagner telling others? Why keep it a secret?
Maybe there was a very good reason for secrecy.
For example?
Werewolves. I don't know how, but
Never mind.
just werewolves. I still don't know why, but werewolves and swans, maybe were-swans. It could happen. It's a thing. Oh, still not done there. Alright, and I know I'm not done here. Let's see if the guy can just show up, or if I've got to call him to make him show up again, because I need to talk to him some more. I don't know if you've noticed, but a large feature in this game is the talkie-talkie.
I wonder what it felt like under there.
Still morbid, Grace. Alright, let's go call our buddy. Which requires going back to the castle, going inside the castle, up a flight of stairs, into the bedroom, the back of the bedroom, into the library, to the desk. Are you guys starting to see why FMV adventure games not really a great idea? I mean, this is one of the few that does it right in terms of the ambiance and the storytelling. I like this game. But can you imagine going through all of this if you didn't like the game or if you were indifferent?
I don't have anything to talk to Herr Dahlmeier about at the moment.
Maybe I don't need to call him. Maybe I don't need to call him. Actually, while I'm here... Remember, we had that whole conversation about the guy who wrote the biography and he had access to the book. Let's see if we can track that guy down.
Hallo, Bertil München.
Hi, I have a book of yours on Ludwig II. The author's name is Sir Richmond Chapel.
Yes, how can I help you?
Well, I'm doing some research on Ludwig, and I was hoping you could get me in contact with the author.
I'm afraid Sir Richmond Chapel is deceased.
Oh.
However, his son is living.
Oh. Well, is there any way you can put me in touch with him?
And who are you doing this research for?
Well, I'm working with Professor Barkley from Yale University.
Liar, liar.
All right. Thomas Chapel's number in England is 41 20 555 771.
Thank you.
You gotta love the 555.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye.
That's how you know we're lying to you. I like this. I've got these two inventory items that look almost identical. Let me bother this random guy's son.
Chapel residence.
Hi, my name is Grace Nakamura. I'm calling from Rittersburg, Germany. Is Thomas Chapel there, please?
Speaking. What may I do for you, Miss Nakamura?
This is going to sound crazy, but I have a copy of your father's biography on Ludwig II. I understand he had access to Ludwig's diary.
Yes.
Well, I'm not even sure. He didn't make a copy of it or anything, did he? Or perhaps he took good notes?
He wrote down a complete translation in English. He said he couldn't make headway with the German version. Ludwig's handwriting was rather broke, you know.
He wrote down an English translation. Do you still have it?
Well, unfortunately, my father was allowed to see the diary only on the grounds that he wouldn't publish the entire work. I can't let you see it.
I have no idea what
Have you
accent
tried
that is.
contacting the National Archive?
No, I don't have the kinds of connections your father did, or the time.
That's unfortunate, but I really cannot let it out of my hands.
I understand. It was just a shot in the dark.
Very well. The best of luck to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chappell.
I really can't tell what accent that is. So at times it sounds Australian, but it never sounds British.
I'll write to Gabriel. Soon as I have enough info to blow his little investigation out of the water.
Darn, I was hoping we were getting near the end. I think we are, though. Let me just go talk to my newest gal pal.
Gerda? Yes?
Oh, look, they're friends now.
Have you heard from Gabriel at all?
No, Grace, I'm sorry.
Never mind. Gerda, do you have any idea where I could get a government research permit? I don't have time for a lot of red tape.
You should ask Herr Übergrau. He can maybe get such things very fast.
You think? I was going to write Gabriel today anyway.
Were you? Because I just tried to do that, and you said no. And what does one have to do with the other? You should go ask the bartender. He might know how to get a special permit. You know, I was going to write a letter to Gabriel.
I should get a letter off to Gabriel.
Yes!
I want to include a note to Übergrau about the research permit.
Oh, that's my bad. I mixed up Herr Huber with Übergrau. What were the odds? So that's my bad. I deeply apologize for letting you down like that. Oh, right, let's go mail this. That was my bad. I feel like an idiot now. Uber and Übergrau. It's a cultural thing, I think. At least we never have to go back to Neuschwanstein. Neuschwanstein. Neuschwan something. From here it's closed, but here it's open. Yes, let me click again to get the close-up of the doorbell, so I can click on the doorbell, so I can get the lady to show up.
Grüß Gott. Haben Sie etwas für mich?
Nein, leider nicht. Brauchen Sie noch etwas?
No, you already picked up your mail today, lady. Can I just give you this letter?
Kann ich diesen Brief versenden?
Ja, 3 Mark bitte.
Hey, I understood that. 1 mark, please. It's a good thing this game lets them have infinite money. Or at least they never have too little money. That's a common thing in adventure games, having to track down the cash to pay for the things that you need to do.
Danke.
Bitte.
Whew! So that's the end, right? Because that's how we normally end our chapters. We mail a letter. Oh, look at that, some flowers.
Gibt's das denn die Lilienblühen schon?
Sehr schön.
Ja, aber es ist doch noch so kalt.
Do you guys remember like 2 chapters ago when she couldn't talk to him because she didn't speak German?
Für Sie ein Geschenk von der Madonna.
Oh, no.
Nehmen Sie sie ruhig. Heute Nacht wird es kalt und sie wird sowieso erfrieren.
Jibba jabba. Jibba jibba jabba.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we've got a lily. Let me just shove that in my purse.
It was nice of Father Getz to give me one of the lilies.
Yes, it was. I'm glad you pointed that out. Oh, do we know anybody dead that we can leave this lily for? Alright, so earlier you'll notice I kept clicking on this area over here and she kept making her little morbid comment. I forgot about the lily. I need the lily for this to work. As I said, I've been this far in the game once before. I've always been hung up at Neuschwanstein. So I'm going to make a few mistakes in this playthrough, and I apologize ahead of time. Hopefully I can make up for them by being funny.
I'm trying to figure out what you want me to do, but I need more information to work with. If you can send any my way, I'd appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. That was creepy. Hey, you left your lily. Alright, well I guess it wasn't that important to Lily. Now, if everything's correct, there should only be 2 places left. Haha!
Hi. You just had a phone call. It was Frau Gelder at the post office. She said a fax came in for you there.
Really? I wonder what it was.
Maybe it's from Gabriel.
Don't hold your breath.
Hey, watch the cattiness. See, this chapter is a little irritating because, you know, you get in the habit of skipping these little cutscenes that you've seen so many times. But that's twice in this chapter where the cutscene looks identical but actually contains information you need. Once when she says Professor Berkeley called, and that just then when she says a fax came in.
There's no one there.
Then ring the bell!
Hallo, Frau Gelder. Haben Sie etwas für mich?
Ja, ein Fass. Ein sehr langes Fass. Das ist aber nicht vom Schattenjäger.
Ist okay. Dankeschön. Thomas Chapel. Oh.
Oh my goodness, my favorite son of a biographer ever! Let's see.
11th June, 1872.
Well, actually, I wanted to read the... It seems I've had a change of heart. Please take these in the strictest confidence, something like that.
11th June, 18...
And it's actually
3rd July.
A transcript of his diary.
5th January. 30th August, 8... 10th September, 8... 12th December. 10th June.
Basically, Ludwig had a falling out with somebody who's trying to use him to do something he doesn't want to do.
April 1883. The great friend is dead. How unjust that he should be taken from me now. Where is my chance at self?
That would be him talking about Wagner.
10th October 1885. There must be made clear funds for the crystals. Lies. Everyone lies. My own servants. What must I do? Must I sell one of my beloved castles? The crystals must be made. I grow daily less able to control my own will. How long will I be able to resist the ultimate sin? And the music is worthless without a device. Time is running out. The crystals must be made.
So there's a little hint of some of the stuff that I've kind of been skipping over. Alright, so we're going to do a quick spoiler alert. You might as well stop watching here if you don't want to know this. But Ludwig II was turned into a werewolf. That's all the hints that we've been picking up on. And he was working with Wagner to try and find a way to save his soul before he killed somebody. Apparently it involved music and crystals. And look at that, one place left to go. I couldn't dance around it anymore. At this point, if you haven't picked up on that, let me help you. Because maybe I skipped some of the hints that would have sold you, but I think it should have been obvious. Anyway, last thing to do in this chapter.
Have you heard of Ludwig's diary?
Yes, but no one is allowed to see it.
It just so happens that I have a copy of an English translation right here. There's
Strictest
something I wanted to show you.
confidence.
Read this one.
Not allowed to
August,
share.
Aktenstein Aksik. The experiments go better and better. They has proved as loyal and determined as ever. It remains only to put the finishing touches on the completed opera. To make up the diagram for the crystal. My God!
Wait, I want to show you something.
You know this secret locked box that nobody's allowed to see?
I am not supposed to have looked at this myself, but I am here alone all day, so...
Does nobody take confidentiality agreements seriously anymore? And he spread it more than once because he knew where the entry was.
July 1881. Richard returned from his meeting with the king.
It's written in
Never
English?
had I seen him so pale. I was concerned for his heart. He would not speak with me, but immediately shut himself up in his study and started working on a new project. He will not tell me the first thing about it. He will only say that it was time he repaid his king. It confirms Ludwig's diary. He wasn't crazy.
Yes, but Ludwig says that the opera was completed. Imagine that, completed. There's something else.
August 1882. We had a messenger tonight from the king. He brought a letter which Richard burnt. I did manage to see a bit of it. It said something about a great night in Munich and that it would be Richard's supreme triumph and someone else's destruction. Ludwig then wrote that even though he himself would probably die, his immortal soul would be freed thanks to Richard. I worry for poor Ludwig and for us. Where will we be if his madness continues? Surely someone will put an end to it. Wow.
There's one more.
She's doing really good at translating this German on the fly.
May 1883. I sent Richard's sealed package to the king, as he instructed moments before he closed his eyes forever. I could not even bring myself to care what was in it. What could it matter now? Whatever it is, I hope it brings the king good memories of Richard. He did so much for my beloved.
The package.
That's it, guys. Next time, we'll tuck into Chapter 5. We're going back to Gabriel, where the real action is. I'm sorry you had to wait so long for this chapter. I promise you won't have to wait so long for the next. Thanks for stopping by.